Live. So let me give you an update. It's raining. Not in Colombo, but here. It's been pouring
for 2 days now.
2 days now. What the Colombo weather should have been, it's here in Noida.
Siddharth, you're doing too many clickbaits.
No, I'm not doing too many clickbaits. It's true. But in Colombo, the best news that you can all get is it's bright and sunny.
Very good news indeed.
It is very good news because today everybody was saying that close to 90% chance of rain, reserve day also 99% chance. But I think looking at the general trend of the weather in Colombo is that if there is any chance of a rain interruption will happen later in the night.
Later in the evening, yeah.
Yeah, it won't happen now. Like it's always happened later in the night there has been an issue. So I think we'll see a match today.
Let's not jinx it.
99% looking at the current trends, it looks as if we might have a full game. We don't need to go into the reserve day. So that is one good news that's there. It's bright and sunny at the R. Premadasa Stadium. It's India versus Pakistan, Chapter 2. And in Pakistan already announced they're playing 11 yesterday.
So no suspense there whatsoever.
Yep, 4 pacers.
But plenty of suspense over the Indian lineup.
Yes,
Plenty of suspense.
We don't know who will be included, what is the changes that will happen, or will it be a change? Change or changes? That we don't know because
staring at potentially changes.
Because see, Bumrah will definitely be in, and one of Shami or Siraj might have to sit out. Because otherwise the team composition will just not come at this point. But the major debate, KL Rahul or Ishan Kishan. I had done a 11 saying that Ishan Kishan will unfortunately have to sit out. KL will come back because you need to give your senior pro some game time. If Ishan scores a 50, okay, and then you bench him for the next game against Sri Lanka and KL comes in, that is also equally unfair if you look at it.
Actually, then the best case would be, and I might seem harsh on KL, that you continue with Ishan till the World Cup because he's done nothing to merit being dropped. Nothing. But
we are talking about the Indian cricket team management. This same Indian cricket team management dropped Ishan Kishan when he had scored a double hundred at Chattogram.
See, although I will give a bit of nuance there and say that there he was competing with Gill. And Gill
wasn't playing that series when he got the opportunity. Gill comes back, scores a double hundred. So right now, for KL Rahul to again cement his place, probably he'll have to do what Shubman Gill did.
Okay.
Put exactly the kind of performance that Ishan Kishan was putting or has been putting.
But remember, KL Rahul, before he got that injury, he won you 2 games.
Yeah, I'm not denying that. But the problem is that, again, right now, I think his return to fitness, the timing of it was very, very, very touch and go.
It was as close as it could have gotten.
Because see, I'll tell you why there are a lot of indications which suggest that KL Rahul will play. Because he's gone through the entire math simulations, he's gone through the fitness drills, you've seen him perform in all these kind of drills at the NCA. You even delayed your World Cup squad announcement by 2 days just to ensure that he attains that full fitness.
Correct.
Now, if you've done this much, and you don't play KL Rahul today, then I think you're missing the whole point.
The way things have panned out over the last month or so, given the fact that, first there was a bit of a delay with the Asia Cup squad announcement, then there was a massive delay in the announcement for the World Cup provisional squad, and time again you heard frequent mentions of KL Rahul, both by the team management, at times from former people who have been in the circuit as well. Every indication coming that KL Rahul is a vital cog in this Indian team, and now that he is fully fit, regardless of what Ishan Kishan has done, I think KL Rahul gets the nod.
You have to, because see, if you don't pick KL Rahul today, then don't pick him at all.
That's the thing. If there has to be a start of giving him a sustained run, it has to start from today, because you are not looking at more than 6 matches now.
Yep. See,
you've got 3, including the one today, and that is provided that you're playing a 4th, let's say, in the final.
Yeah.
So probably 4 matches and then those 3 matches against Australia. That's it. You cannot aim for more than 7 matches from where you are right now.
You have to pick KL Rahul today. There is no other way how you can look at it, because it offers you the composition also, the team balance is also sorted out, and that is why It's a big, big thing indeed, and that is the reason why I would like to tell you that if you don't play him now, there are two problems. There are two problems. One, your planning is not sure. You don't know what your planning is at this point. Second, KL Rahul's availability can give that boost, that composition which is there in the Indian cricket team much more than Ishan Kishan. Because see, all your planning came when KL Rahul was fit. Ishan luckily performed for 4 games. You betted on that luck factor that okay, your backup is performing, so okay, let KL
And
Rahul. He did. And that's why, look, today whatever team is selected, if KL Rahul is picked, ironically, your planning may be there for the World Cup. But if you don't pick KL Rahul today, gone. Then I think this Indian cricket team is operating without a head, without legs or anything.
Not playing
with just vibes.
Just vibes at this point.
Not playing KL Rahul today will be very counterintuitive to everything that you've done till now.
Yes.
It wouldn't have then, if you don't play him today, it will not explain all those delays and all those pressers and all the importance that you gave to KL Rahul.
Yep. And remember, KL is not going to face this trio immediately. He's at number 5. That will give a very pivotal position to ensure he negotiates the middle overs and hopefully in the death. Because see, yes, in the first game against Pakistan, what was the problem?
In 2022, you mean?
No, even
even this time.
PAK.
Yeah,
you lost 5 for 27 and then you lost 3 for 20, 15, I think, 3 for 20 at the top. Now, because of that, you have to ensure that there is some stability. Luckily, Ishan fired. What if Ishan had not fired?
Then not just that. If Ishan fired, then we wouldn't be having. If he didn't fire, rather, we wouldn't be having this debate.
Yep.
No,
Then
but
it's
even no, go on.
Then it's straight swap. You know that the grass looks greener on the other side. Oh, KL Rahul has been unfit. He won you those 2 games. Bring him in instantly. The reason for having this debate is because Ishan did fire.
Yeah, and now that Ishan did fire, it's so tricky even still with KL Rahul's position, because if we include KL Rahul, then good, way going according to plan. It is what we've been, talking about for the past few months. We were just waiting on KL Rahul's fitness to get him into the team and then announce the squad. But then if KL Rahul doesn't perform and still stays in the team, then it's wrong on Ishan Kishan.
Then you've taken the gamble. It's like a gamble.
My worst fear at the moment as an Indian cricket fan is, and I have a very strong feeling that KL Rahul will be playing today's game, is that if you bring in KL Rahul, despite everything that Ishan Kishan's done, sit him out, you give KL Rahul a run for about 3 to 4 games. He doesn't show you much promise. You then decide to go back to Ishan Kishan, which would be sometime around the Australia series or midway through that series, maybe the second match, and he loses touch. Imagine that is the worst possible scenario that you can sort of look at, and that has happened in cricket in the past.
It's happened to Ishan this year only.
Exactly.
People tend to forget that after the 200, he was not played for a while. Then when he was being played in T20s, his T20 form dipped.
Exactly.
To the point where
he lost his momentum.
To the point where he got dropped from the T20 side. Yashasvi was brought in, and they were making Sanju keep wickets. So again, it's a risk, and if they then stick, and all I will say is at this point, if you're going the whatever horse you're betting on, bet on it till the World Cup.
Yeah.
If you're going to play Ishan today, let Ishan be that number 5 and your wicket keeping option till the time the World Cup comes to an end. If you are going to play KL Rahul, let KL Rahul be that number 5 and your wicket keeping choice for the World Cup. Don't chop and change in the middle, because then you are done for.
That is the thing. See, why are we having this particular debate is because I don't look beyond the Indian cricket team to do these kind of things.
Exactly. We know that. They've done it enough.
They have done it in 2019, they did it in 2021, they did it in 2022. Now they are potentially, if you want to avoid the banana skin, you would want to avoid it in 2023.
And not just once or with one player. Like you pointed out, it has happened multiple times, but it has also happened with multiple players who are now nowhere.
Yep.
Because they've lost their momentum or lost their form or confidence because of the Indian management.
So because see, 4 was the main problem in 2019.
You didn't solve it.
Now it's 5 and 8. That's your major problem.
And really, for that matter, even 4. Again, we're not, and I'm a big fan of Shreyas Iyer, but the fact is that his fitness also coincided at the same time. That at least you can say he's played 1 innings.
Yep.
KL hasn't even played that.
Yes, but It wasn't KL. See, in that Pakistan game, whatever were your problems, 4 didn't get answered that much. 8 didn't get answered that much. 5 is a big issue.
Yeah, exactly.
8 you could have gotten an answer to, but it didn't get you the answer you were looking for.
I mean, see, it's not
The opportunity was there.
Yeah, but
Let's not shy away from saying that the opportunity wasn't there. And this will happen. I'm telling you, this will happen time and time again. Shardul Thakur, if you're playing him at number 8, he will come into bat at crunch situations only. That day, by the way, he had a lot of time. There will be situations where he won't really get a lot of time to settle down.
Indication?
That looks like KL, doesn't it?
It looks like KL.
Yep.
And he is with
Rahul
his
Dravid.
namesake Rahul Dravid.
With the head coach. And Ishan, by the way, has no keeping gloves on.
So is that an indication?
It's a strong
Absolutely.
indicator.
Yeah.
It is a
Absolutely.
very strong indicator.
Maybe Ishan might have had a wicket keeping drill much earlier. KL is having it at the last time. So
I'm pretty sure both wouldn't have been doing the drills.
maybe.
No, but to be fair, no, in the past, I remember
Like-
last
No,
year.
everyone practices.
Last year, I remember when Pant was there, were a lot of people clamoring for Pant to be in the team.
I'll tell you why.
Him and DK would be practicing drill.
It takes me back to what Rohit Sharma had said, that even on, or rather what Ashwin had said, we knew on the eve who would the 11 be.
So maybe this might be a strong indicator that maybe KL is slotting in place of
Yeah,
Ishan.
it is.
And for people who are
See,
saying
now you see him limbering up. See, you will see these visuals, and Ishan also will be there. I like the fact that, there is a 50-50 comparison over there happening between the two. But Ishan, of course, you don't expect just because he's not playing or will not play. Let's see. Again, it's very speculative at this moment. But we're only trying to tell you what we are seeing at the moment and what we've seen, let's say, in Indian cricket happen over the last couple of months.
or years.
Or years.
See, I'll tell you one thing. There are many people who are saying you can try slotting in Ishan and KL. How?
No, then you're dropping Shreyas Iyer for no fault of his own. Or Shubman Gill.
Or
Surya Kumar. Oh.
But Surya's not there in the.
No.
Actually, you're talking about dropping.
But that will be the extreme which I don't see the Indian team touching at the moment.
Not happening
No, it
right
can't
now.
happen. I mean, see, your number 8 conundrum can only be sorted between 2 individuals.
So
Shardul and Akshar.
I'm just talking about the number 5 conundrum at the moment.
Only number 5
You
is
take-
KL and Ishan.
You
That's
then, no, if it's about fixing things, yes,
very
Shubman
sad
Gill not been getting you runs.
kind
One
of
of the
a,
arguments, though he doesn't feel that way, one of the things that's been
news
said about
when
him
I
is it's a
heard
lot of
that,
cricket that he's played
so
over the last, 8 to
there are
10
a lot
months.
of memories.
So perhaps
We
take
played
Ishan,
together.
he was giving you runs
We
at the
spoke,
top, but
you know,
it'll be
after the
toying with
game.
Ishan, and I know it's not
So
good
that
for any
remains with
player.
me, but
Perhaps
yeah,
put him
wherever
right up
he's
top,
gone,
let him
I
open
hope
with
he,
Rohit
rest in
Sharma.
peace and,
KL Rahul then
and
automatically slots into number 5. Again, there are multiple ways of looking at the whole situation, and I won't be surprised. It will be a big surprise if they do end up benching Shubman Gill. But with this Indian team, at times nothing seems as a surprise.
It's not happening, my friends, because see, there are slashes for only 3 positions, 4 positions rather. Shreyas/Sky. In this current 15 setup that you're
And that has been well taken care of thanks in no small part to Sky's performance.
Sky Sport.
Because he never grabbed that opportunity.
Yep.
Shreyas has been out injured for months.
Yes. Then you've got KL/Ishan.
And I think we see KL slot back there.
Yep. Then you got Shardul/Akshar.
I think playing 3 spinners makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
Unless it's an absolute spin paradise wicket, no.
No. Then you've got Shami/Siraj.
Siraj.
That is the only 4 slashes that you're looking in this playing 11, and that is how you have to do your rotation. Sky versus Shreyas Iyer, I think that won't be rotated much because I think Shreyas has to get a lot of game time.
And Sky sadly did not grab any opportunities either.
And remember, even Shreyas Iyer has featured in 2 games. The problem is in one he got 14, he
And the other
batted
game he
well,
did
but
He batted well, yeah.
He was looking good. He was looking great
Even
actually.
the short ball which got him out didn't trouble him. He
Yeah.
nailed it.
He
just happened to find the fielder.
just found the fielder at short mid.
Yep. So, see, I don't know how the weather will be in the evening time, but then I think if teams are playing for the weather, then I think they are making a big blunder. Because I'll tell you why. If you want to play for the weather, you should have already warning signs about it.
Well,
but
we
yes-
do play to the weather. Let's
No,
not forget
Sri Lanka, Bangladesh
WTC.
didn't.
No, we do.
Bangladesh made the mistake.
I'm saying we do.
We do that.
We
is a
do.
different thing.
We get
We've
swayed.
seen that.
Yeah,
World Test
very
Championship,
recently.
right?
Very
Yeah,
recently.
yeah. And the
Just 1 hour
past
of
one
cloud
also.
cover. And only cloud can impact Ashwin. No one else can get impacted by that. That's the worst part about it all. But okay, forget about all that. See, yesterday's wicket If you have to look at, maybe they'll be playing on a different strip altogether. Yesterday's wicket was two-paced. And who were the bowlers who got maximum purchase out of it? It was the spinners. Be it Tikshana, be it Velalage, be it even for Bangladesh, if you have to look at it, Bangladesh was a slight different thing. It was pacers who got most of the thing. You had Hassan Mahmood, you had Tashkin Ahmed, all of them did well with the ball.
Correct.
But the spinners played a containing role in that. In Sri Lanka's case, it was Velalage, it was Tikshana, Patirana also came later on. That is why. So I don't know how this wicket will be, but it'll be a slow, low. It won't be a high scoring 350, 360.
No, this is going to be another. At max, you're staring at 270.
270, 275.
At max.
If rain,
I think
They should bat.
they'll bowl.
That's a big mistake.
No,
Because
you should bowl.
no,
as
definitely.
the wicket goes on, it becomes slower and lower. It becomes difficult.
Correct, but we know with this team they don't know how to set targets.
Yeah.
So if you win the toss, stick to your strength and chase.
Please.
Please do not try to bat first. The same mistake you made last time will cost you.
Perhaps.
In Palak.
I'll have to agree with Shane, yeah.
Maybe. But then see, that is the one area where India have never done well. What better way to do it?
See,
than the World
but
Cup
again, no.
No, you do not
You have
say
given all of those reasons in the series gone by that we wanted to put ourselves in this situation, that situation. The simulation is done, by the way. This is now time for you to prove. Again, you tried it the other day, it didn't happen. So maybe accept the way things are. Maybe you really don't have it at the moment to be able to set totals on tricky surfaces. What's your strength? Chase targets. You've got the chase master in the ranks. You're hoping that the others get into form. Knowing a target as a batter always helps.
But my only thing is there will be a day when, suppose Pakistan,
They'll ask you to bat first.
Yeah.
Correct.
But again, you've done those simulations. At least when it's in your powers, go for the safer choice.
Go for your strengths, rather, not the safer.
Not a safer choice. Nothing is safe. You either play or if you don't play. So that is why. Okay, so that is the situation we have now. But it is luckily bright and sunny in Colombo at this point.
Luckily.
Mostly. I think the rain might stay away for majority of the match.
Every
What
time
happened
we
late?
say something like this
Yeah,
or
I'm not
say,
saying anything.
yeah, it
But-
rains. So let's
No,
stay away from
when
that.
did it rain? Palakele, because
No, remember that match, India-Pakistan,
Palakele.
we said that hopefully we'll be back for the mid innings and not the rain
And
break,
then my
and
God.
there we
It was
go.
a massive delay in that sense. But see, the weather is very fickle.
Imagine, in fact, I remember even India, Nepal, we almost had
Yeah.
5 minutes away from having a washout.
Washout,
It was that close.
That close. So that's why I think Colombo may have seen the worst of the rain behind. I think
Yeah, it's quite possible because, funnily enough, we are having so much unseasonal rain.
2 days of rain.
Oh, it rained all night.
It did. And because of that, here the situation is good. Luckily, we're not having a game in Delhi or at this point.
So
here.
we're just enjoying the weather.
Yeah, just enjoying
You can't
the
do
weather.
that in Sri Lanka as of now.
Yep. So, in that sense, okay, let's take a couple of comments before we come to the toss.
Yeah, because again, we'll be joined by Nikhil live at that point. So,
Yep.
Yeah, and I will also rejoin you guys. I got to leave at the moment. My quick prediction: India win today.
good prediction.
Of course. That what a win today? What, the toss or the match?
The match.
When have we done a toss
Of
prediction?
course, you've done a toss prediction. Because see, with the weather and all that, we have to make a toss prediction at this time. So, in that way, I am really wondering now. Okay, this new debate that Harshit's opened up about batting first or batting second. I think India don't know their strengths.
No, it is chasing.
Dashath is chasing.
It's chasing.
Undoubtedly, sir.
Yeah.
Years of IPL cricket, wherein you always prefer knowing the equation, has seeped its way into the Indian ethos as well.
But you could not chase in that World Cup semi-final.
Where collapses happen.
Yeah.
You couldn't chase in 2017
No,
in the
but
Champions Trophy.
a strength
Where
doesn't
collapses
mean
happen.
a strength that doesn't mean it's foolproof, but it's also your best. It
Think
is
of
your
India's
strength.
Every big
Yeah.
win that has come recently.
It's
all has been
chasing.
chasing. We don't defend well. That's a
No,
fact.
okay. 2007 we won while defending. 11 we chased. 13 we defended. So 2 defending and 1 chasing.
But those
I
are
think
also
7, 11, 13 are a different era.
exactly different players, different team.
15
Doesn't
semi-final you couldn't chase.
Because
still not the same team.
But still,
No, actually, you did have many of the same players. That's
Many,
not true.
how many?
Rohit was there, Kohli was there, Jadeja was there.
3?
That's your nucleus.
That's it.
That's your nucleus.
yeah. See, whenever you
but
chase.
yeah.
Okay. So we'll be cutting very shortly to Colombo, where Nikhil's going to give you all the latest updates. India versus Pakistan at the Premadasa Stadium, or the locals would like to call it. They hate calling it the Premadasa. They very much prefer it being called the Ketarama Stadium.
Which is its actual name, I'm guessing?
It is. It was called the Ketarama Stadium because the area where it is located, that is Ketarama. And it has been named after the former Prime Minister who was assassinated in the 90s, Ranil Premadasa. So that is why you got 2 stadiums that have got leaders' name in Sri Lanka at this point.
This and the Rajapaksa Stadium.
Mahinda Rajapaksa Stadium in Hambantota. So
We might be getting there soon.
Yeah, we've already gotten there.
Yeah, we have many which are named after leaders.
Of course, Nehru stadiums.
There's
No,
Rajiv
I'm
Gandhi
talking
Stadium.
about the current leader.
Current leaders we already have Narendra Modi Stadium. in
Narendra Modi
Ahmedabad.
and
But
yeah.
And you got Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi. You
Yeah.
got Atal Bihari Vajpayee
Oh,
Stadium
yeah,
In
yeah.
Lucknow, that's what I'm saying. There's plenty named after
Plenty.
politicians.
But in the subcontinent, that has always been the trend. It was started by Jawaharlal Nehru and the Rajiv Gandhi family in the 80s and the 60s and the 70s. Then in Pakistan, you had a stadium named after a Libyan leader. Gaddafi
And not just
Stadium.
any Libyan leader, Libyan dictator. It's still that called that by the way. The
It is,
Lahore
yeah.
Stadium is still called the Gaddafi Stadium.
Then if you have to look at even in Bangladesh, you had the Bangabandhu Stadium. Bangabandhu is Mujibur Rahman. Then you got the M.A. Aziz Stadium in Chattogram, which is named after the founder of the Awami League at that time. Then you got 3 in Sri Lanka. Premadasa, you got Hambantota, you got Mahinda Rajapaksa. Third, you have Tyrone Fernando in Moratuwa. Tyrone Fernando was the ex-foreign minister of Sri Lanka. So that way you got a lot of foreign, I mean, if you want to say, political leaders also established their imprint on the subcontinent when it comes to cricket
When it comes to
stadiums.
stadium names.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Mahinda Rajapaksa and Narendra Modi, only 2 leaders were living still. They have got their names planted in their stadiums. Strange. So 13 seconds to go before Nikhil joins
We'll be joining you
us.
guys. We're giving you a bit of a countdown here.
Yeah.
So stay tuned with us. You will get updates not only from Nikhil, but you'll also be joined by Sunny Ji and Pajupa.
I remember Sunil Gavaskar and Harbhajan were really on form.
And here we are.
Here we go.
And here we are, Colombo. Bye-bye.
फ्रेंड्स आते हैं यहाँ पर इतने
Well, hello and welcome to our special show, Road to the World Cup, coming to you live from where all the action is at the moment. That is Colombo, that is the Premadasa Stadium, and I'm coming to you live from there. Just a short while ago, you heard from Harbhajan Singh and Sunil Gavaskar. At that time, they were setting up the game for you. I've quickly changed my location and come to ground zero because this is where all the action is going to be. And first and foremost, this is the biggest question on everyone's mind. And let me answer that. How's the weather looking like? Because you know what happened in the last game between India and Pakistan that was to take place in Palakele. There were rain clouds through the day. The sun kept playing hide and seek with the clouds. And then you got some bit of game. You got half the innings with a few interruptions. But the second half of the innings just could not happen. There were rain clouds that were threatening to wash out this particular game as well. Game number 2 in the Asia Cup between India and Pakistan. But I'm very happy to report that right now it's all clear. In fact, the weather has been very kind the last 3 days because for the last 3 days we've not had rain here. I've been here for a good 5-6 day period in Colombo, and the first 2.5 days we had a lot of rain, and there were doubts about this game going forward. There was a lot of criticism that was coming by the way of the Asian Cricket Council for having organized the tournament here, knowing fully well that you could encounter a lot of rain in Colombo. There was this entire controversy over why not move it to Hambantota, with Pakistan saying that India is scared of playing Pakistan. That is why, they don't want to move it to Hambantota. All of that has happened. All of that is behind us. All of that now, as I speak right now, is done and dusted because there is sunshine here. There has been sunshine since the morning. It was a clear day yesterday as well, which is why you got to see a full 100-over match between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh yesterday. So that's good news. So if you've got plans for this Sunday, well then, what do I suggest? Get a big bucket of popcorn, other snacks, your soft drink, juices, whatever your poison might be, and get ready to see a long day of cricket, because a one-day game, as you know, goes on for 7-8 hours. And keeping my fingers crossed, hopefully you will get 7-8 hours of cricket, which means hopefully you will get to see 100 overs of the match. So that's the good news. The toss will be happening any moment now, and we'll update you with the toss as well as changes to the playing 11. Sunny Gavaskar joins us live once again on the program. Sunny bhai, the teams will be out very soon, but do you expect India to make any sort of changes in this game? Maybe an additional spinner, considering that Premadasa ends up helping the spin bowlers. What do you reckon India would want to go with in terms of your playing 11? Also remember, KL Rahul is available for selection.
Well, I'm not in Colombo, so I don't know what the pitch looks like, what the overhead conditions are. You said it's bright, so maybe a spinner could be included. But if there's a change that needs to be made, I think instead of Shardul Thakur, maybe Mohammad Shami, because you want wicket-taking bowlers as well, not somebody who's going to just contain the batters. You need wicket-taking bowlers. So Mohammad Shami would be a very good replacement, I think, for Shardul Thakur.
Saika, that's interesting that you talk about that India go with wicket-taking bowlers, in which case you'll have to go with your three frontline fast bowlers in Siraj, Shami and Bumrah, and of course Jadeja, Kuldeep do play. But then the other argument on that front is that the batting balance goes Ori, because at number 7 with Jadeja, that's where your batting ends then.
Well, with all the batting talent that India has, if it needs a number 8 to be able to push the score along, then that's not such a great thing. But Kuldeep Yadav at number 8 is a pretty handy batter as well. So I don't think India should be looking at it in a negative mindset. I think India should be looking at it with a positive intent to try and get early inroads into the Pakistani batter, because you make those early inroads, you put pressure on Pakistan, whether they are batting first or whether they are chasing any total that India puts up.
That's interesting from Pakistan as well. They have decided to announce their 11 on the eve of the game, but we are getting breaking news right now in terms of the toss, and Pakistan have won the toss and they have decided to bowl first. That does not come as a surprise, because quite often we've seen here at the Premadasa Stadium, or as the locals call it, the Khetarama, batting under the light tends to get slightly easier. On certain days, you get a lot of dew here as well. But I will report the fact that yesterday I was here during the Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh game, and there was no dew. So that will be a relief for any team that is going to be bowling second. And in this occasion, it is going to be India that will be bowling second, because Pakistan have won the toss. That's the big news coming out of the Premadasa. Pakistan have won the toss and have decided to put India in. So once again, you will have the Pakistani fast bowlers coming hard at the top order of India, and Pakistan will kind of get that advantage, as I was mentioning, of batting second here under the lights at the Premadasa Stadium. Sunny Gavaskar still with us. What do you make of the decision? It was kind of expected that maybe the team that wins the toss may decide to put the other team into bat here, because batting here tends to get slightly better second inning. What have you made of the Premadasa conditions in the games that you've seen so far in the Asia Cup? Yesterday was one game that was played here.
I don't think batting becomes easier in the second innings. We saw that yesterday as well. I think when the twilight is on, that is the time the ball can swing a lot more. So that might actually be a big plus for India when they're opening their bowling against the Pakistani batters. Quite clearly, what Pakistan is thinking is that they rattled the Indian top order in the previous game when they bowled first. And clearly, I think that's what they're looking at, to rattle the Indian top order. But also maybe because the TL method might come into play in case there are late showers, say at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and the overs get reduced, then that the DL method will come in. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they have also opted to field first.
Okay, that's interesting from Sunny Gavaskar. He says maybe, and that is something that we've seen a lot of captains do, especially when rain is predicted in the second half of the day, as it is in the game versus Pakistan today, that Duckworth Lewis becomes very important. So it's best to chase. Maybe that is something that Babar Azam kept in mind. But Saibhai, from India's point of view, would they be happy batting first, or do you think they would have been happy batting second? Because, just to ease those nerves, simply because last time around the Pakistani bowlers got the better of the Indian batters. So, ease the nerves if you're fielding first and then come out to chase would have been better? Or you think, no, they'd be up for the challenge and say, okay, let us face the Pakistani bowling head on?
I think batting first is possibly better because, if it's a hot day there, the fielding team can get a little bit tired. Yes, if the batters are doing a lot of chasing, India's batting gets going, they have to chase a lot of balls to the boundary, then clearly I think they'll feel just a little bit tired. So when it comes to batting second, that can also affect, the running between the wickets. For example, if you're tired from the fielding efforts, so that can be a plus as well. So, but clearly, what Pakistan is looking to do is to try and take advantage of what happened in the previous game, where they took 4 early wickets, and they're hoping that this time around they will not allow a 5th wicket partnership to flourish.
Okay, there's some more breaking news coming in when it comes to the Indian playing 11, and 2 changes India have made. So that answers a lot of questions that people had on their mind as to what would be the ideal combination for the Indian team. So the 2 changes right now that we're reporting that the Indian team has made is that Jasprit Bumrah comes back into the team for Mohammad Shami. So remember, Mohammad Shami played the last game. So Mohammad Shami is now out, which means Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj are your 2 frontline pacers, backed by Shardul Thakur, who will be your backup fast bowler or the bowling all-rounder as you're looking at him, which means no place for Akshar Patel. Those were the other, areas that people were looking at, maybe play the 3rd spinner. So India hasn't done that. They've gone in with 3 fast bowlers, Shardul Thakur, Jasprit Bumrah is back, and Mohammad Siraj. So those are your 3 fast bowlers. And then you've got 2 spinners in Kuldeep Yadav and Ravindra Jadeja. This is your bowling. In batting also, they've made 1 change. What is that change? And that's an interesting one. Shreyas Iyer has gone out of the playing 11 and KL Rahul has come in. And you know what? This was the talk of the town. This was being debated, that whether you go with Ishan Kishan or do you go with KL Rahul. Many were going with Ishan Kishan. The half of them were going with KL Rahul. Guess what? Both camps can be happy because Ishan Kishan is playing, KL Rahul, both of them are playing, and Shreyas Iyer has gone out. Before I get your thoughts, Saibhai, on KL Rahul as well as Ishan Kishan playing together, the news that we're getting is that Shreyas Iyer has not been rotated, has not been dropped from the 11. He's missing out because of an injury. He's got back spasm is what is being told to us right now. That is why he misses out and KL Rahul comes in. And my question to you is, should we be worried? And what is happening to the Indian team injury management? Because he's just spent 7-8 months recuperating from an injury of the back, comes back, is past fit, plays the last game, has done a few practice sessions, and again has a back spasm. Should we be worried with Shreyas Iyer going forward? Because he's part of the Indian World Cup team as well.
It's a worry, definitely, because if a player is out injured for 5-6 months with an injury, and then he has a similar injury now with less than a month left for the World Cup to start, I think, yes, it's an area of concern. But luckily, I think you can make changes in your team till I think the 28th or 29th of September, a week before the World Cup takes off. I think you can make injury replacements actually, and so I don't think in case he's not fit, he doesn't recover, there will be somebody who will replace him. But it's sad because while he was batting against Pakistan, he looked in good touch. Shreyas Iyer, he played a lovely cover drive. He had even played that hook shot well, but sadly for him, he found the fielder right there. If it had been 5 yards here, 5 yards there, it might have been a boundary.
Well, that's right. Saibhai, I can confirm to you, I've been looking at him batting in the nets. He was looking very good in the nets as well. You talk about that innings that he played versus Pakistan, was very aggressive to begin with, showed some positive intent. So, I mean, now that he gets back spasm is a bit of a surprise to me. I even seen him spend some time in the gym doing some hardcore exercises, and then comes the news of back spasm. So this is then a recurring injury. This is then a worrying sign for India, because, you know, you spent 8 months helping him recover, comes back. It's not even been a week, 10 days since he's been with the Indian team. And then once again has that back spasm, and he's part of your World Cup squad. Something then for the selectors to ponder over. And as Samibhai was pointing out, till 27, you have enough time to make as many changes as you want. We'll try and get
Mic
to
test,
other
1, 2, 3,
perspectives.
1, 2, 3,
Hopefully, Harbhajan Singh will join us. We'll bring you some live updates of the fans from here on ground. We'll even tell you how the two teams are getting ready for this encounter, what was said in the pre-match press conference, all of that coming up. But one from Sunny Gavaskar before I go to all those elements that we have with us. But overall, in terms of change, KL Rahul coming into the 11, what is it that you're looking forward to seeing from KL Rahul, and who keeps today? Ishan Kishan, KL Rahul, who would you like to see keep today?
Well, I get the feeling that maybe Ishan Kishan will keep wickets this time around, and KL Rahul will bat at 4 in place of Shreyas Iyer. So that's a good position for him to bat, because he's already done well at that position for number 4 or 5, and he gets a bit of a sighter as well with what happens earlier on, because he's batting at 4, what the pitch is doing, how the ball is swinging. So I think that will help him settle in. We've all seen how good a player he is. So as far as his quality is concerned, it's not a worry at all. It's just that that little worry about the niggles that he's been picking up. So clearly, I think it's a good thing that he's batting at number 4.
Okay, that's very interesting. Harbhajan Singh also joins us live on the broadcast. But Jupa, that same question that I asked Sunny just now, Shreyas Iyer has not been dropped from the 11. What we are getting to know is that he's not playing today because he's got back spasm, which is why both Ishan Kishan and KL Rahul have been included in the 11. My question to you, which is exactly what I asked Sunny, are you worried? Does that raise question marks about our injury management? Because here's a player who spent 7-8 months recuperating from that back injury, comes back, just spends about 7 days with the Indian team and already starts having back spasm. Does that worry you? Because he's part of the Indian World Cup squad as well.
Well, injuries are part and parcel of the game, as we all know that. But getting injured that often, obviously, it's either your bad luck or you're making actually position for KL Rahul. I think getting injured at this point of time, not just for the team but for also his own position, will probably put a lot of things correct for KL Rahul. I think that's something is very worrying, that players are getting injured yet again and again, and it's something to do with the kind of training what they do, or with the kind of efforts they put in. So I think that is the question NCA needs to answer, because that's where everyone go and train themselves and get ready for the games. But it's a bit unfortunate. Players are getting injured quite often, which can happen. Obviously nobody wants to get injured, but I think this opportunity will obviously open a big door for someone like KL Rahul. And what KL Rahul will bring on this table is stability in this batting lineup. I think in my view, he's a proper batsman who can score runs at any position. Though he opened and sometimes he bat down the order, we have always seen his one-day record is very good, and he's a correct player. It's good to see him there batting at number 4 for India, and I hope he grabs this chance and continue to score runs for Team India. And I'm a bit obviously surprised to see Shreyas Iyer sitting out, just playing after one game and getting injured. It's obviously not just his loss, it is also team's loss as well.
Right, it is a team's loss because as Sani was pointing out, Shreyas was looking good in that little bit of time that he spent on the crease versus Pakistan. Harbhajan, another question to you, and I was speaking to Sani about it. You've played a lot here at the Premadasa Stadium. Pakistan have won the toss and have put India into bat. What do you reckon? Which team now has an advantage? Because what we've seen with the Premadasa Stadium, it's a bit of a sticky wicket. Sometimes the ball holds on a bit, really doesn't come to the bat, which is why we've seen that even totals in the range of 260, 270 sometimes become match-winning totals, while in one-day cricket 300, 320 has now become par. But this stadium is very different. Can you tell us, with your experience of having played here, which team then holds the advantage, batting first or chasing second? Also, you got to see the game yesterday between Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. So which team do you think hold the edge right now after the toss is done?
Well, I think Nikhil, batting first is a very good option here at Premadasa. I played a lot of cricket there. The wicket is good to bat on, but obviously as the match progresses, the wicket tends to slow down a bit. So it's always nice to bat out there in the first half of the game, especially when the sun is out. And of course, later part, the ball skips on and plays the double pace kind of a wicket. And of course, a good spinner will always get a purchase from this pitch. So I believe batting first, it's a good thing to do here, and just try to put not 320 odd runs. Look for those 270, 280 kind of runs. If you look to get 280, you'll probably end up getting another 20 odd runs. So don't look to get 320, 350. That's obviously for those grounds where it's small boundaries and of course belter wickets. But this pitch obviously is not probably that kind of a wicket where you'll score 350, but 280 kind of a total. I think that'll be a match-winning total, and it's good to see India batting first. To be honest, that's my opinion.
Okay, Saibai, just what should be the approach of the Indian top order? We've heard from Rohit earlier as well saying that, they have to be a bit circumspect now because of that contest. Pakistan fast bowlers, Indian batters, what do you think should be the top order's approach now that they'll be facing Shaheen Shah Afridi and co in a short while from now?
Each ball on its merits, not to do anything predetermined. As batters tend to do in the T20 format. You've got 30 more overs in this game. You've got 50 overs. And with the kind of, the range of shots that Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Shubman Gill have, even if they have a slow start, as long as they get the measure of the pitch, what the ball is doing, they will be able to accelerate later on and catch up with the scoring rate, the asking rate. So I think they should just make sure that in the first 10 overs, no wicket falls, because that will mean that, you'll have given a nice little platform for your team.
Okay, Harbhajan, what do you reckon is going to happen? Because we are all now warming up to that contest. Shaheen Shah Afridi, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. Many said that, listen, okay, that day they got the better of the Indian top order, but these are some experienced batters. How do you see that contest going on today in these conditions?
Well, I think it will be another great contest to watch, and of course both the side will be looking forward to have this battle against each other. I hope this time our batter will come at the top of Shaheen Afridi and not give him any wicket. And of course, as Sunny sir mentioned, that first 10 overs are crucial with the new ball. It doesn't matter whether you're playing in Premadasa or you're playing in Sydney or in Calcutta. First 10 overs, just see that new ball through, and of course you have the opportunity to score runs in the next 40 odd overs, and you have the quality in your batting lineup. Book yourself not to give a wicket in first 10 overs, and then let's see what happens in the next 40 overs. This same bowling lineup with Shaheen Afridi or the others will look ordinary if you don't give them any wicket up front.
All right, that is what you heard from both our experts in Sunil Gavaskar as well as Harbhajan Singh in terms of what is it that the Indian top order has to do, because most believe that that's where the contest is going to lie. But a big positive came around for the Indian team last time, where they lost the top order, but Ishan Kishan as well as Hardik Pandya had that rear guard action and put a very competitive total for the Indian team. Unfortunately, we could not get a full contest on that occasion. Hopefully today the weather is good, as I'm reporting from here in Colombo. No dark clouds in sight, so it seems like we might get a full official game this time around between India and Pakistan. But Sunny Gavaskar, Harbhajan Singh, thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to India today, helping us set up this particular encounter between India and Pakistan. We've already reported in terms of what India is going to be doing. They're going to be batting first. 2 changes for India. That too has been reported. But for the moment, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Head to the press box, enjoy the game. But I'll leave you with the set of both Indian fans, Pakistani fans that have turned up here at the Premadasa Stadium in large number. There was a bit of banter between them. Listen in, and I'll see you now mid innings. Bye bye at the moment.
देखो मेरी बात सुनो, ये राम मेरा बड़ा अच्छा दोस्त है, तो मैं इसकी भावनाओं की बड़ी रिस्पेक्ट करता हूँ, कदर करता हूँ, लेकिन आज पाकिस्तान जीतेगा। अच्छा जी, ये राम राम करता हुआ यहाँ से निकलेगा और श्रीलंका में लंका पाकिस्तान ढाएगा।
जय श्री राम बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि लंका से जय श्री राम ही जीत के गए हैं।
टोपी की कहानी बताओ, बड़ी बड़ी अच्छी टोपी। मैं पंजाबी हूँ और पंजाबियों की जो शान होती है ना, वो पगड़ी होती है। तो चूंकि मैं पाकिस्तान को
पंजाबी तो है भी है,
नहीं, हर एक का अपना स्टाइल होता है, अपना अंदाज होता है, कोई किसी को कॉपी नहीं करता, हर एक का अपना अंदाजे बयान होता है। तो मैं, ये 2 फुट लंबी हाइट है मेरी कैप की, तो मैं समझता हूँ कि जितनी शान ऊंची मेरे पाकिस्तान की है, मेरे अजीम परचम की है, उतनी ऊंची शान वाली मेरी कैप होनी चाहिए। तो मैं अपने मुल्क की इस तरह नुमाइंदगी करता हूँ इस कैप के साथ।
अच्छा, एक सवाल दोनों से पूछूंगा जाने से पहले। आपको क्या लगता है मैच का, अगर आप बताएं क्या होने वाला फ्यूचर इस मैच में, अपनी तरफ से बताएं क्या होगा, कौन रन बनाएगा, कौन विकेट लेगा, कैसे जाएगा मैच?
देखिए, हमारा बॉलिंग अटैक नो डाउट के बेस्ट जो है ना, ओडीआई का बैलिंग अटैक है हमारा, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। और बैटिंग में आपके सामने है कि इनामुल हक जो है बड़ी अच्छी फॉर्म में है, बाबर आजम ठीक चल रहा है, और जो हमारा मोहम्मद रिजवान है 40-50 को तो इजीली वो भी निकाल लेता है, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। यानी कि पाकिस्तान की जो बैटिंग लाइन है और बॉलिंग लाइन है, टीम कॉम्बिनेशन है, जबरदस्त है। इससे अच्छी टीम और नहीं हो सकती। जीत हार जो है वो नसीब की बात है, टीम जबरदस्त है। इंडिया को
प्रेडिक्शन करो क्या होगा मैच में?
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह पाकिस्तान आराम से जीत जाएगा मैच। बड़ा मैच होगा, टाकरा होगा, लेकिन पाकिस्तान आराम से इंडिया को बीट करेगा। राम वापस जा रहे हैं इंडिया।
पाजी
सुन लो,
पाजी मेरी बात सुनो, भूल लो मत, इंडिया के पास ही बॉलर है, बुमराह है स्पेशल।
पिछली बार चांस नहीं मिला पाकिस्तान की बैटिंग को,
हमारे बॉलर को चांस मिला था, चांस डाला हमने।
कोई बात नहीं
यार,
हर एक दिन
रिजवान कह रहा है, रिजवान खुद कह रहा है इतना चैलेंजिंग टोटल।
बिल्कुल
मैं रिजवान साहब की बात की रिस्पेक्ट करता हूँ, लेकिन अगर इतना अटैक बॉलिंग होती ना इंडिया की, तो क्या नाम है, नेपाल 231 स्कोर उसी विकेट पे ना मारता।
231 ना देखो, वो तो चलो दे
भी चंगी टीम ने,
अच्छी टीम है, अच्छा खेला, क्रिकेट अच्छा खेला।
एक बच्चों का एक्सपीरियंस ही नहीं है, एक नए बच्चे आते 231।
So there you heard it from the fans outside the stadium, all very pumped up. Both set of fans extremely optimistic of a win for their side. And we just heard from Sunny Ji and Harbhajan Singh as well. Harbhajan saying that India don't have to be afraid of anyone. They've got every reason to believe.
But I don't agree with Harbhajan on one particular aspect.
Which is?
He said that Iyer is getting injured far often, and I think he's making a place for KL Rahul. Why get KL Rahul?
A bit unfair.
Why get
But
KL Rahul?
I'm very concerned for Shreyas Iyer.
I am very concerned about what's happening at the moment, and what is this whole rehab which is not, getting complete ever.
NCA.
Yeah, I mean we have to look at it that why are the same players getting injured so many times? It's such a recurring injury. I mean, that's not fair.
It almost feels like deja vu, because you had a Jasprit Bumrah who's on the sidelines, came back. Then his return was sort of delayed because you thought you'd play against South Africa. He didn't, played against Australia, didn't last the whole series, and then gone. Look at Shreyas Iyer, comes back, gets you 14 runs, doesn't get to bat in
This is worse. I'll tell you why. Because he had a similar problem during the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Came back for one test match, second test match. He came back for the third test match in Delhi. Had a half decent time. Then
Third test was Indore.
Indore. He came back for the Indore test.
No, he came back to Delhi. I remember he did.
Played the second and third
He flew
test.
back to Delhi. Yes.
Played the second and third test, and then after that fourth test, which was a batting paradise where everyone scored runs. He had picked up back spasms, was out for the IPL, underwent back surgery, came back after a long rehab, and now plays one match and has again got a back problem. I
It's
really
worrying.
am wondering what is going on in the NCA.
It's worrying.
The timeline of it
It's
was,
turning out to be Notorious Cricket Academy.
I'll tell you what was the timeline, okay, of Shreyas Iyer's injury. See, he suffered that injury in Ahmedabad. Then he waited. He waited for a month.
Because he wanted to not miss out on the IPL.
Yes. But then unfortunately that didn't happen, and because of that he had to undergo back surgery not in India.
In New
He went to
Zealand.
London. No, that
Oh,
was
London.
New
Yeah,
Zealand
yeah.
was Bumrah.
Bumrah.
Yeah.
Bumrah went to New Zealand.
Yes. And remember, Bumrah, it took him 5 months. And so far, whatever we saw in the T20s for Bumrah, it's held up well. But for Shreyas, he underwent surgery. Okay.
Did the rehab.
Did the rehab. While KL Rahul was having a problem, there weren't many concerns about Shreyas Iyer. But remember, there were faint murmurs that perhaps even Shreyas Iyer is not 100%.
Yeah, but that was before the chairman of selectors, AajTak Garkar, said in that press conference which was held in Delhi, he had said that Shreyas was no concern. Before that, we had all been speculating that no, KL looks the fitter based on his social media posts and this, that. But it was Agarkar who confirmed that KL had picked up a new niggle and that Shreyas Iyer was fully 100% fit. And to be fair, there was no signs of concern in the. I mean, I know he didn't get a bat against Nepal, but against Pakistan, they would look like there were no problems. Now, suddenly, out of nowhere.
Did we see Shreyas Iyer practicing before the match or
No, they
warming
only
up?
focused on
KL Rahul, Ishan. Yeah, because if
And Ishan Kishan
it
is a
seems like
designated wicketkeeper, by the way.
yeah.
it seems like a very recent injury or a back spasm because his name was in the sheet.
A back spasm can happen even 1 hour prior to the game.
Yeah, of
In
course.
fact, if you look at the sheet, by the way, the team sheet they present, first, even when I read it exactly the way Siddharth told me, in the sense that the order, but then I looked at the side, the columns, it was scratched out and showing batting position for KL 4, batting position for Shreyas 13. I said, wait, 13 means he's not in the 11.
It's not in the 11.
And that's exactly what it was. Then I checked other sources and they said, yes, it was Rohit's quote saying he got a back spasm 1 hour before the match.
So it is very unlucky for Shreyas Iyer. I mean, you remember a similar thing happened with even Virat Kohli, Johannesburg. He got a back spasm. Ashwin got a back spasm that forced him to miss the Brisbane test. But Harbhajan's comment, I think, sorry, I cannot.
Well, let's leave him with that. He's entitled to an opinion.
He's entitled, but
I don't agree with it either.
yeah, because an injury is fine, but then taking some other player's name, it kind of looks as if he's lobbying for a particular player.
But I will say this, now there's going to be a lot more pressure on KL because now you're playing at number 4, which has been a troublesome position for what seems like forever. You've come back after months of this thing.
Yep.
Your first game against Pakistan, no pressure.
I mean, see, he's a veteran. He'll have to handle that pressure. But see, there is now a way how we can fit in both KL and Ishan. Ensure Shreyas is injured. That is the situation. I mean,
I think there are going to be a lot of questions raised now on what it is that the NCA is doing. Because
They should have been raised a long time ago.
they have been, but nothing seems
No,
to
we've
change.
been asking questions here on the platform itself for the longest time.
I think Rohit said in the last match that if need be, both KL and Ishan
Can play together.
and it is.
So I remember. So what Saransh, our dear friend, is saying is that it was one of the questions that was asked to Rohit Sharma, if at all KL Rahul and Ishan Kishan both can play together, because the narrative has been that both are fighting for the same spot, which is at number 5. The Indian captain though suggested that why not. So that question was asked as to if there is a possibility of the two of them playing together. He said yes, why not? Because places in the 11 are merited. Nobody is guaranteed a place.
Joining us.
And we have Nikhil live with us. Nikhil, can you hear us?
Sure. Sorry. Oh, okay. Anji, sorry, I was talking to a good friend from Bangladesh. He's a journalist. Sorry. Come again. What did you guys say?
So, Nikhil, the main debate is yet again what we are now totally kind of stunned by is a recurrence to Shreyas Iyer and a back injury. It's not a new injury, it's that same back that is troubling him. Now, you had mentioned even in the broadcast that we have to be really worried about, even Sunil Gavaskar had stated, we have to be worried about Shreyas Iyer's fitness. But this recurrence of injuries, lessons have not been learned even after going to the NCA, or the NCA injury management now has to be really questioned.
So I tell you what, I tell you a few things. I've seen Shreyas very closely the last few days. So one, I've seen him in the net sessions. He's not had any sort of discomfort. He's been training very hard. So which is why I'm very surprised that this has happened. Secondly, I happened to be in the gym at the same time as he was, and I saw him train with the Indian team trainer Rajni, as you know. And he was doing some real intense training, and that wasn't a training of somebody who just recuperated from injury, which was giving me an idea that he's, completely fit. He was doing that sort of intense training. So I'm very surprised, but I don't know if you guys can confirm, but when I hear from news from inside, that it was last moment, there's some decision has been taken, because it's quite possible that he pulled up his back somewhere here, because last moment KL was told that you're going to be playing. So I believe Rahul Dravid was running helter-skelter, trying to figure out what to do, because maybe in the training something has happened. So with backs, I can tell you with experience, there can be one moment where it's suddenly, there's a twitch and it can affect you. And I'm guessing maybe that is something that has happened. So, which is why it's a last moment decision. So it didn't happen yesterday or during training. It's happened. But yeah, it's worrisome because he's part of the World Cup squad. I'm worried whether, he's then the right guy or India has chosen. Luckily, till 27th, you can make as many changes as you want to the squad, which is good news. So maybe India may have to seriously consider, because you can't then be taking players like this. Though I must also tell you that Shreyas looked very good in that Pakistan game. Shot still, but was timing the ball, and one player who came out with a very positive intent. That ball he got out to. Usually what happens with Shreyas, he's late on the pull, or he gets beaten by pace in the short ball. That time he timed it perfectly, and I was watching at the ground. It could have been 4 on any other occasion, went straight to the fielder. Outstanding catch that was taken. Looking good. This is a sign to be very worried for the Indian team. And also, questions about NCA. Harbhajan said it just now on Sports Today. Viewers must have heard it. Some serious action has to be taken. What is this management, and how are players looked after? And once they come back fit, how is it that the injury happens again? Something seriously, drastically wrong there.
I mean, it's a repeat of Ahmedabad. Shreyas was had a freak injury and ensured 6 months he was ruled out. And it's a repeat of what has happened here just before the India-Pakistan encounter. But I just don't know. So this is the only way you can play Ishan and KL in the mix. And I think KL is just a batter, Ishan is your keeper.
I think,
Ishan is the designated wicketkeeper. Yeah.
But then does it solve the problem then of number 4 and number 5, Nikhil? If Shreyas is suppose having another long-term injury, then do they have a plan B than the Indian team?
Let me hear everyone's thought.
Sanju Samson.
There was a
That's the only other plan you have.
There was a school of thought. There was a question: if KL doesn't keep, then he has no place in the 11.
No, but I think since he is not a full-time keeper, I think this is the way you fit him into the pure bat. Now suddenly,
absolutely necessary to fit in KL Rahul in Indian playing 11.
That's a whole different debate.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a whole different debate.
If KL Rahul is showing the kind of success that he showed us in the past in ODIs, then yes, then he can bat as a pure bat. But then otherwise, I would think that you need to bring someone else in.
If you're going back on Sunday.
But I tell you what, all the batters that you have, you then have someone better than KL Rahul at the moment. I'm not sure. So I think even if you were to just look at a batter, you may look at KL. At least that's what I think. But you've got to remember Sky also in the squad. Yeah. So if you're talking about others to be looked at, if you're just a batter, I'm just talking about a batter, maybe you look at Sky as well. Because I think KL will be given a run, assuming that he becomes a batter and not a wicketkeeper. But if he is not good in those runs that he gets, the next in line will be Sky. Again, just for the batter I'm talking about. Then maybe Sanju comes in. And if you remember, in that press conference of the World Cup announcement, I had asked this question to both Rohit and Ajit about, have you told any people to be ready? And Ajit mentioned that, at least the ones that were here kind of know that they could be in a scheme of things if there is an injury. So Sanju was here out of the 18 members that he was talking about. So clearly that conversation may have been had with Sanju.
Okay.
All right.
So the first over is about to be bowled, Nikhil, and 5 balls up, not much of swing, not much of... there's not much of swing on offer for Shaheen. Rohit is kind of playing him comfortably.
But again, one thing that I see in common from that first match as well, Shaheen has started bowling fuller.
What
Again,
happened?
what
Four are out. Four are out.
No, I think not out.
You can see he's there. No, okay.
I think it's a 4 or out.
It's a 6 in fact. It's a 6. It's a 6.
Six. That's what. Something like that. That's what I said.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
you're obviously getting the roads much before
us.
we get to see that here. But why don't you go enjoy the match, Nikhil? The conversations.
Okay, see you guys.
Yes, we'll continue.
See you.
To you guys as well, thank you so much for joining us here on Sports Day. We will be back in the mid-innings for the mid-innings as well, and let's hope it is mid-innings and not for other reasons that we have to come back.
He said it.
But anyway,
Bye bye. See you from
all of us
Let's
here in
enjoy
the
cracking
Sports
bonus.
Day studio. Bye bye.